This wasn't just a terror plot. Iranian operatives were planning a mass casualty attack, and their target, a Jewish synagogue. They were hours away from executing it when British Special Operations Forces, the SAS, launched one of the largest counter-terror raids in recent UK history. 8 suspects were taken down. 7 of them were Iranian nationals. This is Iran's war, and it's being waged in broad daylight. And if you think it stops in London, you haven't been paying attention. Over the weekend, British Special Forces, including SAS commandos, launched coordinated raids across the UK. It was one of the most significant counterterrorism operations the country has seen in recent years. The arrest happened in multiple cities: Swindon, West London, Stockport, Rochdale, and Manchester. In Rochdale, neighbors watched as 30 masked Special Operations commandos stormed a home and ordered a shirtless man in his 40s to the ground at gunpoint. In Swindon, another suspect was grabbed right off the busy street by masked officers in the middle of the day. These weren't just criminal suspects, and according to British intelligence, 5 of them, 4 of whom were Iranian, were actively planning a terrorist attack on a specific site. Media sources later confirmed that the site was likely a Jewish community location, possibly a synagogue from what I'm hearing. The Daily Telegraph reported the raid happened just hours before the suspects intended to launch the attack. The Daily Mail went even further, citing sources who called it a major attack that posed an immediate threat to human life. It had nothing to do with the upcoming World War II commemoration events attended by King Charles. This was a separate, ideologically driven mission to strike Jewish civilians on British soil. So we're talking about 2 Iranian cells and one message: Jews are the target. That same day, British intelligence announced a second raid that led to the arrest of 3 more Iranian nationals. These individuals were not connected to the synagogue plot. They were part of a separate Iranian espionage cell, and officials moved on them quickly, fearing that they would flee after the terror arrests made headlines. And you know what? I agree with them. It was the right tactical decision. What does that tell us? That Iran had at least 2 active cells operating simultaneously in the UK, one targeting Jews, the other engaged in foreign intelligence work. 2 different missions, one regime behind both, and both executed on the same day. Now, the UK Home Secretary called the raids some of the most significant operations in recent memory. It's true. She stopped short of directly linking the suspects to the Iranian government, but she made it clear that Iranian citizens were involved in both operations. And anyone in counterterrorism knows what that kind of language means. Let me explain it. These weren't freelancers. This wasn't some misunderstanding. These were foreign-directed attacks being carried out under orders. And just like we've seen from the IRGC and its proxies across the entire Middle East. You ever wonder why I built this show? Because after October 7th, I watched the media lie. I watched people justify terror, and I watched the world turn its back on the truth. So I picked up this mic, and I turned it into a weapon, and this studio into my battle room. This isn't just a podcast. It's a counterterrorism mission. But I'm not backed by a network. There's no corporate sponsors. There's no PR team. This show runs on you. And if the truth matters to you, and if you've ever said, finally, someone's standing up and said it, then help me keep it going. You can donate directly, or you can pick up my deep concealment holster, same one I trained Keanu Reeves on for John Wick, runs below the waistband, never gonna fall off you in lightning fast draw with just a little bit of training. Or you can grab a 3-pack of the Aaron Cohen famous Merkava coffee, strong enough to fuel counterterrorism. Or you can grab a signed copy of my best-selling memoir, Brotherhood of Warriors, The Story Behind the Fight. My memoir is the first American to serve in Israel's top special operations counterterror unit. Every dollar pushes the mission forward. Click the link below to support the show, because never again means now. Now, I want to talk about Iran's broader global war on the Jews. Iran has a long and well-documented history of targeting Jewish and Israeli civilians overseas. That includes embassies, synagogues, community centers, and individual dissidents. And this plot is just the latest proof that Tehran's war on the Jews is global. Make no mistake, it doesn't stop at Israel's borders. It reaches into Europe, Latin America, and get ready, the United States is probably on that list. And according to MI5, Britain's domestic intelligence agency, over 20 Iranian-linked plots have been uncovered in the UK since early 2022. That's 24 attacks Iran either planned or attempted on British soil in the last 2 years alone. Do the math. Yet, the UK government is yet to designate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terror organization. And they're debating diplomacy while sleeper cells are preparing to massacre synagogues. So my question to the UK, what the hell are you doing? So I want to talk to every American watching this. Don't think for a second this can't and won't happen here. And if you run a synagogue, a Jewish school, a community center, you're all in harm's way based on what we just saw here. And the same tactics are already in play throughout the world, and it can easily happen here. Iranian nationals, embedded networks, long-term infiltration in the same ideology, one that sees Jews as a legitimate target for revenge and violence. And let me make this clear. This is not a hypothetical. This is operational. Iran doesn't need to fly in suicide bombers. They embed, they wait, and when the timing's right, they strike. That's why I train law enforcement across the U.S. in counterterrorism, because by the time the first shots are fired, it's already too late. And if you're watching this thinking our government's going to protect us, listen, it's gotten a lot better now that Trump's in office, but go look at how many known Iranian threats have already been quietly infiltrating into the United States under Biden's watch. So I want to close it out with this. This story needs to be a wake-up call to Jewish community leaders, as well as law enforcement leadership, chiefs, and every member of Congress who still thinks Iran is just some foreign policy challenge. It's not. Let me say that to the left clear. It's not. They're building terror networks inside Western democracies, and we just saw it stopped and thwarted in the UK. And the British SAS may have stopped that massacre over the weekend, but you guys want to be prepared here. And if your team isn't trained and your leadership is asleep, it's time to wake up and make sure that the gears are properly greased. I want to thank you guys for watching this one. It's a quick brief. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, share this episode. This threat is real. These sleeper cells are here. And this clock is for real, and it's ticking. I'm going to come back to this as more of these operations unfold. I want to thank you for watching. This was a big win by the Brits and the SAS. A lot of respect for those guys. They are the forefathers of special operations counterterror missions, and I salute them as always. Hats off to those warriors for stopping that threat. I'm Aaron Cohen. You're watching The Aaron Cohen Show, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.